Alrighty. Gonna stream this here because I don't know if I can get away with it on Twitch. Doesn't matter if people come in or not for this one. I'm just gonna play. Starto! Oh, this is Butterfly Affection, by the way. It's really weird and reminds me of another game. Well, because I think it's made by the same dude. Where you have, like, a slave, and you either beat the shit out of it, or you, like, make it love you. But this is a much weirder version of that, I think. I am not totally sure. Today I was out a bit longer than usual, and the sun was already setting by the time I got home. Seeing my house, I got the keys ready in advance. Reaching into my pocket, then I saw something illuminated by the street lamps, out of the corner of my eye. Wow, we're just jumping right into this. Hello, thing! See, I told you, it's a little weird and different, and it's a little cute. Maybe. Near my house, I saw something hard to describe on the sidewalk. Though the head, shoulders, and upper torso looked humanoid, the rest of the body did not. The light crawling reminds me of an insect, but only a few parts of its body are insect-like. If anyone saw this outside their door, they would want to stay inside. It slowly turned my way and seemed to acknowledge my presence, but made no move either toward or away from me. Maybe it's terrified too, I don't know. I don't know if I can speak like a if it can speak like a person. Or if it can understand words at all. As creepy as it looked, it was still close to my house. I can't just leave it here, so I approach it because, yeah, it's on my land. It's near my house. It's weird looking and I must approach it. It doesn't make any sudden or threatening movements. Its only reaction to my touch is a light twitch. As I lift it to carry it off, I noticed it shivering slightly. Wow, I am a brave man. I picked this thing up. It looks really weak. And it may not have the strength to move anymore. Well, maybe it's like a dying fetus thing? I don't know. Oh, there's a spider on my That's gonna be annoying. You better not go on my keyboard. I will smash the heck out of him if he does. Oh, anyway. Oh, well, this would probably end the game if I just don't do anything with it. I'm taking it home with me because it's weird. I eventually made my way into the house, carrying something unfamiliar. And so the weird-ass game begins. Observe. Although it doesn't appear injured, it's dirty from crawling around. Naked, twisted, weird, staring at me. I'd better wash it off in the bathroom. It's totally okay with me doing whatever I want to it, I guess. If it's not hurt, maybe the reason it looks weak is from lack of food and rest. Will it recover if I feed it and provide it sleep to my place to sleep? Or whatever, I can't read today. Well, yeah, let's clean it up. Since it got dirty crawling around outside, I decided to carry it to the bathroom. And then it looked at me even weirdly, more weirdly than before. Like, why do you touch me with water? After adjusting the temperature of the shower to lukewarm, I slowly started on the ends of its limbs. I was worried it would freak out like a cat, but it remained calm and docile as it stared the frick at me. With it being this quiet, I figured I could be more thorough. I carefully washed its body with soap. I am, like, still the bravest human in the universe. Okay. The humanoid parts of its upper body have a texture like human skin. Well, the tentacle feels more smooth and slippery. And the insect parts feel more firm. This is really freaking weird. No new discoveries or surprises are revealed. So it looks like I've learned all I can from washing it. Can't. Food. I don't know its biology, but all living things need nutrition. That's just common sense, but it has features resembling humans, insects, and mollusks. Mollusks. What would be appropriate to feed it? After thinking about it, I retrieve a banana from the kitchen because everyone loves bananas. It's edible to people and insects, and soft, nutritious foods are a good idea. I peel the banana and slice it on a plate, and then leave it nearby. Okay, that's what it's doing. After seeing and smelling the food, it moved and began to eat the banana slowly. Seeing it eat for the first time, I noticed it had a long tongue. It held down the plate with its left hand and pulled single slices to its mouth. Well, its body resembled a mollusk. The unusually long tongue looked more reptilian. Just what is this thing? I expected it to eat more like an insect, like in a more insect-like motion. The more I looked, the less I understood. And then it looked at me weird again. And I thought, I'm going to touch it. I'm touching it. I don't know what kind of creature it is, but most animals familiar to people react positively to being petted. Unsurprisingly, it keeps staring right at me as I softly touch its head. I pat its head slowly as it keeps on staring into my soul. It doesn't react positively or negatively, so I'll try again later. It doesn't know what the hell I'm doing. Go to bed. I'm not comfortable taking it into my bedroom yet. But it wouldn't be nice to leave it on the cold, hard floor tonight. I don't know if it's resistant to cold, and I don't want to tire itself out looking for somewhere comfortable. So I set a towel out on the sofa and lay it down there. That should be adequate bedding with the addition of a blanket. End of the day. What have I done? Why are we looking at a piece of paper? Ah, okay. I found something rather strange near my house recently. Its head, shoulders, and torso resembled that of a human, but the rest of its body was clearly not. I don't know whether it can talk or even understand speech, in the first place. At first I thought it was just creepy, but then I realized it was just in weak condition. After taking a while to decide, I did something unusual and took it home with me because I'm a weirdo. I'm surprised that I decided to do such a thing, but it was too weak to leave it alone. It's not aggressive or bothersome, so there have been no problems keeping it at home so far. If it gets too out of hand, I can just leave it or kick it out at any time, because it has no legs or anything. I'll just... Save. There's like pre-saves to it. Save right there. Did it grow yet another eye? And look at that. What's going on down there? What is it doing? Over a week has passed since I brought it home and molested it. Well, it seemed weak at first. Only after a few days it's exploring the room curiously. It moves in a very relaxed way, never rushing or knocking stuff over. But what's most surprising are the changes to its body. The end of the lower body is turned purple, and some kind of leg grew from the waist. It's growing a leg. Oh, I see it. Yeah. The tentacle, which lacks a heartbeat, has grown as well. Oddly, the right eye has developed a second iris. Like, why? I don't know. It's not uncommon for various types of animals to grow limbs, but only one eye to double. But for only one eye to double is strange for a living thing. I am curious to how it will grow, but I also feel uneasy about it. I better try learning more, starting with communication. After it eats something. Since the first day, I've only fed it fruits and vegetables, which seems safe, so I'll try cooked dishes now. Okay, good for you. After I let the fried rice cool a little, I set it down. Since the food looks different from before, it takes some time observing the food before eating. It looked a bit longer, but it ate the food quietly. It should be okay to expand its diet, I guess. Let's say hello. Although this creature has never spoken a single word, dialogue may still be possible. I'll try talking to it. Blah. I tried common words and phrases, but it didn't reply or react. It's like talking to a dead thing. Even if I asked questions and talked about myself, it gave no indication that it understood me. I wonder if talking is even possible. However, it may not be ignoring my attempts at speech. It may not know any language at all. Even if it's not as intelligent as a human, I'll keep trying to communicate again. Time to molest it. I pat its head again. Although I've done this many times by now, it continues to not react or do anything. What an interesting creature that doesn't care about anything I do. However, when patting its head like this, it stares directly at me the entire time. What does that mean? It may be panicking, or it may be wondering what the hell I'm even doing. But since it never makes any kind of readable facial expression, I can't tell what's on its mind. I wonder if it'll begin to react if I continue. End of the day. It's been a while since I picked this strange creature up, and it seems far healthier now. So far, it doesn't seem to be able to talk, and the only sound it ever makes is a high-pitched kee-kee! Okay, it makes that sound. That's a new thing. Is it a new life form? Some undiscovered race, an abandoned mutant, or even an extraterrestrial? All in all, I still have no idea what it is. However, it eats obediently, doesn't raise a fuss when I clean its body, is quiet, and never causes problems, even though it can now explore the room at will. My main concern is the speed that it's changing shape. It may be better to call it transformation than growth. Though I consider it bizarre and unsettling at first, as time passed, I started to look a little kawaii cute. Well, it's still obviously grotesque. I seem only to be getting more attached. Possibly because the upper body resembles that of a human girl and I'm weird that way. I need to stop using words like it or that. Due to her insect-like features, my desire to see her transform further, I've decided to name her Agaha. Agaha. Why such a weird-ass name? Oh, well, they grew considerably this time. Okay. It's creeping me out. Agaha has grown steadily over the past few days. Her tentacles have grown, and the legs on her waist have gotten longer as well. Her previously shapeless lower half is forming into more legs. Parts of her body are still not solid and stable, but with some effort she can still sit in places that support her back. Regardless of the way she's growing, it's clear Agaha is not human. Duh! But when I see her sitting on the sofa, it feels like she's becoming more like one. I don't know what the future holds, but I will try to see how human she can become. Ooh. Eat. Given that she can now sit, at mealtime I let her use the chair and utensils. Oh, it's got 3 eyeballs. How many eyeballs are going to fit in there? I don't know. Between the structure of her joints and the unfamiliar tool, she moves awkwardly. But if to demonstrate how to eat with a fork, she can imitate me quickly. Oh, but if I demonstrate, yeah. Recently, I've been making separate meals for Agaha, and I just make more of what I eat. There's still no change in reaction to the food. Whatever I serve, she eats in small amounts. I'll try foods with stronger flavors next. I talk to Agaha often, but she still cannot speak, so it's still getting creepier. But when I call out her name or announce a meal, even if she's out of the room, she will come. I think she's beginning to understand a little. She may only distinguish a few small words now, but I'm not giving up yet. Touchy touch. I pat Agaha on the head as usual. There is no noticeable change in her expression, but recently she has stopped staring directly at me the whole time. Did she lose interest or come to the conclusion that I mean no harm? With her no longer crawling on the ground, it feels more like petting a child than an animal. But while she doesn't seem to be bothered by physical contact, she still shows no signs that she enjoys it either, which bothers me. She looks at me occasionally with her unreadable insect eyeballs. She may not lack eyes like me when I... She may not lack eyes... Well, lock eyes! I'm an idiot. When I picked her up. But my inability to read her emotions continues to vex me. Agaha continues to grow and change every day. She no longer drags her body like a slug to move around, as she can now use her legs and arm to move her upper body short distances. I'm wary that she's growing beyond my expectations, but as always, she remains docile and quiet. However, it's not just her physical growth that intrigues me. She not only reacts to my voice now, but her newfound interest in the TV and PC indicate a possibly growing intellect. Of course, given her lack of expression and reaction, I don't know to what degree she's learning. She never misbehaves. It's not very active physically, and I can't really tell her what to do anyway. I can't get an idea of her intelligence just by observing things like how she eats or sleeps. Perhaps more will be revealed as Agaha continues growing. Her level of intelligence, any potential issues should become clear as she starts moving around more freely. Save again. I stop myself as I'm putting my notebook on the shelf. What's about to happen? Since her mobility has increased, Agaha tends to wander around the house. As I see her moving fairly often now, and she occasionally picks things up and moves them. As for the notebook I keep on Agaha since finding her, it might be It may be on a high shelf, but I can't completely be certain it's out of her reach. Agatha may learn to read and write eventually, so I should figure out how to handle this. There's no sign of her entering my room uninvited, and I don't think anything I wrote is bad, but I'd like to keep observing Agatha with it. After thinking about it a bit, I opened my locked valuables drawer and locked the notebook inside. It may not be a sturdy lock, but I can leave other stuff in there too, and I remember the position of the items inside, and I'll know if it's been opened. Time to stare at the even more eyeballs! Ooh. Her once twisted body has now become distinct legs and have joints, and she may soon stably walk with. Her face is looking more human, but her right eye is ripping open wider. Oh no. But since she has grown more tentacles, I can't really say that she's becoming human. But since this also means an increase in dexterity, she can imitate more and more human actions. Although I am wary, I would like to see Agatha's potential. Eat! I started including foods with harsh, bitter flavors, but as usual, she has no reaction to that at all. One thing I've noticed is since I've started this is that Agatha will not eat until after I start. Interesting. At first, I thought she might need an example to copy, but she handles spoons and forks fine now. Nevertheless, she always waits for me to start before eating. Maybe she only ate it because I did. Or perhaps she wanted me to eat first to show if it's poisonous. Hello. So far, her only vocalization is a rare high-pitched sound when carried. This is one reason communication is difficult. She doesn't laugh or cry like a person, or whine like a pet. Like an insect, she's difficult to read. As she becomes more human, I hope her vocal cords are evolving too. But just like before, she can only make the same sound. Maybe for now I should start focusing on a non-vocal form of communication. Touchy touch. Even though it's clear by now that I mean no harm, she doesn't seem to be relaxing. Since she now looks around occasionally when I pet her, I feel like I'm getting a vague idea of her mood. However, since she still has no distinct facial expressions to read, I may be seeing what I want to see because I am again being weird. Agatha's continued growth astounds me. Her ability to handle tools is beyond that of an animal. She becomes more and more human all the time, even though she still never tries to communicate. Considering what I've learned, my way of handling Agatha has become more like childcare or teaching than raising a pet. When watching TV and movies, she has shown an aversion to violent scenes. She has shown preference for comedic and romantic scenes, observing them intensely. I wonder if she will come to understand me, but also worry that she might evolve beyond my comprehension. It's possible that she'll become either a beautiful butterfly or a poisonous moth. Yet no matter how she changes, my affection will increase all the same. Oh my god! What is wrong with me? Even more, her head's gonna freaking explode with all the eyes that are being fit in there every time. Although parts of Agatha's body are transforming in bizarre ways, the rest of her body is definitely becoming more human. I never thought she would become so human when I met her. But as I start seeing her more like a person than a creature, there are certain issues I can no longer ignore. Her body is becoming not just human, but feminine as well. She needs to start wearing clothes, or my eyes will wander. I can't just leave her naked for the time being. So I'll give her something temporary. Since her limbs are shaped differently, I don't know how well female clothes will fit her. Because she's still changing, I'll try one of my shirts for now. See, that fixes everything. I'll never be able to wear that again. She didn't resist my attempt to clothe her, but she's still not used to wearing anything. I tend to find her staring at the fabric. Sometimes she strips when I'm not looking, so I don't think she likes it. Maybe I should have started clothing her before. I kind of regret not acclimating her to the idea of clothes by now. Eat. I made as many kinds of food as I could. Fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, and hard foods, and soft foods, spicy, bitter, and sweet. I tried many dishes with the idea of finding her likes and dislikes, but Agatha never reacted to anything differently. She likely has no sense of taste. Since she has no issues with anything I give her, no matter how unpleasant, I've decided to stop that experiment. It's clear that as far as food goes, she has no preference. Even though she's bigger now, the amount of food she eats is the same. It seems she is sated with her current portions, I mean. And she only needs to eat once a day. Maybe she needs less energy than a human. Or she might digest food more she's never pooped, I don't even know what it is. More efficiently. But I appreciate how little impact she has on my expenses. I think Agatha can still learn human language in the future, but she still can't speak at all. It may take time to teach her to write, but I try giving her a pen. Agatha imitates my movement properly, as I draw a line in front of her. But if I try letters, she only vaguely mimics them. I don't think she understands yet. I wasn't expecting her to start writing instantly. She can handle dishes and silverware, and so that's fine for now. She definitely has the dexterity to learn writing. Touchy touch. Dressing her up made her look more human, but her lack of reactions to my touch emphasized how inhuman Agatha is. Although still eerie, she looks more human by the day. Agatha's many changes will probably put weird thoughts in my head, so I'm relieved that her inhuman nature is still obvious. Bed. Agatha is significantly larger than when I first found her. She may be too tall for the sofa that she's been using due to her growing legs. Luckily, there's plenty of space in the living room, so I brought a mattress and pillow for Agatha to use. Agatha showed no emotional reaction as usual and started using the bed now. Although she's always been unreactive and unreadable, as she becomes more human, I feel a little lonely. It was important to make her wear clothes, but now Agatha resembles a human even more than before. Her appearance now gives off the impression of a carefree child. However, I shouldn't confuse her for a person, as I still know very little about Agatha or her biological traits. She may superficially resemble a human now, but that doesn't mean she possesses a human mind. That said, even knowing that, I should be careful not to assume Agaha's true nature. I can't help but want to develop a human heart within her, like I can do that. Whether it's a fear that she can become a terrifying monster, or a hope that I can one day love her like my own child, I really have no idea. Honestly, it's probably a little bit of both. Well then, now it's time to give her the internet. Her head's gonna freaking explode. Oh no, we're gonna lose her. She's gonna die of her own face. When I got home today, Agaha was using my computer. That is still a major jump. Trying to teach her how to make letters, and then, I'm on your computer and I'm looking at porn. How are you doing? I don't know. Checking the history only indicates that she was clicking randomly. She may be treating it like a toy, but it means she can use. But this means she can use a mouse. If she keeps using it more in the future and learns more as she does, this could be a major clue to how intelligent she really is. Recently, it seems like Aga has become more expressive. I can see traces of surprise or wonder. She started making light facial expressions. I wonder, though they are far more faint than those of a normal human, it's a major improvement over her previous in-reactive state. With her complete lack of expression in the past, I would always have trouble understanding her. As she becomes better with expressing herself, I'll be able to learn more about her. Oh my god, now we're eating together in a way. I slept in today, and when I left my room, breakfast had already been made. Oh my god, she can make breakfast! It seems like Agaha cooked it herself. It's all stuff I've made before, so Agaha probably imitated it from watching me cook. Although it was honestly a little bland, it was properly cooked and I had no problem eating it. With her usual lack of reaction to flavor, she calmly eats it like before. She likely still has no sense of taste. But now it seems that Agaha understands how to cook, and has learned how to use utensil and fire. Lately, with how independent she is, I rarely need to do anything for her, so I'm not very surprised. Touchy. When I was sitting on the couch relaxing today, Agaha suddenly cuddled up against me. When did she learn that? Physical contact between us is not uncommon, but this time it felt different. Sitting right next to me, she linked her arm with mine and pressed up against me. When I turned to her in surprise, she made eye contact and softly said, "Where did she learn that bullshit?" Compared to our more pet and owner-like skinmanship in the past, what Agaha did this time felt human, even feminine. It was very charming. It was a small thing compared to all her changes up to now, but the effect it had on me was enormous. As the surprise confusion ran through my mind, I sat there, lost in Agaha's sweet smile. Even though Agaha is usually remarkably well behaved, her lack of direct communication is getting frustrating. I've tried teaching her how to use the pen or type on the keyboard, but I still can't seem to get her to use any kind of words herself. This would be normal for a dog or cat, but Agaha clearly has more intelligence. Only my attempts to use language to communicate fail, almost as if she's faking her inability. That said, there's no sign that she could understand me before, so it's still within the realm of possibility. I'm probably just making selfish assumptions in my frustration. I still have no way of knowing for sure. I still can't read Agaha's thoughts and emotions well, but recently she has become much more expressive. She now smiles when I pet her head, and frowns a little when I ignore her. When I think about it, she spends a lot of time either observing me or the people on TV. The recent changes in Agaha's behaviors indicate that she might be trying to imitate humans. As obviously inhuman as she is, it seems like she's losing some of her more unusual features and becoming more human. But while she shows more emotion now, it feels less like a natural change and more like a deliberate one. This is only speculation and conjecture for now, since I still don't know for sure if she wants to be human or has completely a different goal in mind. Though I'm happy that Agaha has become more expressive, I'm worried that she might evolve beyond my comprehension. Only time will tell how she develops her newly apparent emotions. Wearing clothes has made it more difficult to see Agaha's growth. But recently her body hasn't been changing much. Instead, her behavior has changed a lot, especially her expressions. Agaha has started actively seeking intimate skinship, which is starting to trouble me. Until recently, I saw Agaha as a pet or specimen, but she's suddenly become a pretty girl. Since I still can't get a read on Agaha's perspective on this, there's no way to know for sure. I can only learn more if we find a more direct way to communicate. So I want to figure that out as soon as possible. Let's eat food. Agaha has started cooking more often now. Lately I've been eating her food every day. Sometimes it tastes good, and sometimes it tastes weird. Since I don't tend to watch her in the kitchen as she cooks, maybe she's learning through trial and error. Agaha only cooks things I've made before, so she probably is trying to imitate me. Since I'm not really a good cook myself, it's reasonable to assume that she wouldn't be better either. But since she almost never makes the food truly awful, I'm grateful that she's willing to cook. Touchy-feely? Okay. Whenever Agaha is nearby, she now gets very cuddly and clingy. Whenever Agaha... Okay. She wouldn't understand even if I told her to stop. For the first time, it's a genuine problem that Agaha doesn't do as I say. Although it's not like I ever understood her anyway. Until now, Agaha was quiet and well-behaved, but since I didn't establish boundaries before, I realized I can't really control her actions now. I can't get her to nod or shake her head in response to what I say, but she no longer stares blankly when I talk. Now she just smiles at me. She gives off a very different impression now, but her lack of reaction is still the same. Agaha has changed in many ways, but I still made no progress in trying to communicate. The end. Agaha's suddenly forward affection is a major change from a previously unresponsive one. I wonder if this is because I showed her too many shows and movies depicting romance, and not enough other genres. If I were being optimistic, I would welcome... Damn, I'm having so many... These changes as she shows favorable new traits. But given how sudden and swift the changes were, I instead feel weary and confused about what her true intentions are. She tried to grasp my mood, experimenting to see my reactions or something else entirely. Even if I try to compare her to animals or humans, this shift was too abrupt for me to know for sure. That said, I can't deny that I enjoy her affections and seeing that she has a pretty smile on her little agahaying face. However, I also feel very uneasy about that at the same time. It's fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. So I'll leave things as they are and see what Agaha does next. One day, Agaha was playing on the computer. Or was she? She caught my attention and showed me a page on the mail order site. She's buying shit now, is she? Maybe she wants me to buy something. She's considerate. Well, considering whether to actually purchase it, I go ahead and add it to the cart for her. Then Agaha starts browsing related items, looking at a multitude of different pages. She stops at another item and gives me the same look as before. I want it! Okay. After repeating the cycle a few times, several pieces of clothing and fabric pile up in the site's cart. She seems satisfied with this and lets me use a chair and mouse. The extra fabric all matches up with the clothing. If Agaha were to see all this, she may start wearing more clothes. Or maybe she just liked looking at the pictures. I do have to clothe her properly anyway, and if Agaha's growing much more slowly now. The total price is not cheap at all, but it's still a reasonable amount. Since Agaha only eats a little, she barely increased my expenses, and even helps with the cooking. It's gonna cost a pretty penny, but it's within my budget, so I decided to finish placing the order. After a few days, everything I ordered arrives. I unpack it all and give it to Agaha. I wonder how well she can wear it with no modification. As I'm thinking about that, Agaha brings out a sewing kit. Oh. I can't sew myself, but I never threw it out. She must have found it collecting dust on a shelf. I didn't expect her to be able to sew at all. Who teaches her this bullshit? She knows what she's doing! What the hell? Okay. Despite that, Agaha opens the sewing kit and starts working. It looks like she won't need any help from me. Agaha starts to slowly work with the tools, but she handles them deftly with no issue. It seems she'll be here for a while. I leave her to her own devices for now. Agaha's recent behavior is unsettling, so this time away is a breath of fresh air. I can't read anymore. Goddamn. Since rejecting contact with her will affect her mood, I'm glad she has something to keep her interest. Now I'm completely certain about it. Agaha's intelligence is at least on the level of a human. She understands clothing, she can use a computer, and can plan in advance. She learns how to sew and has the skill and knowledge to properly do it. She's shown greater intellect than a human child. She's obviously intelligent enough. So her continued inability to communicate feels unnatural. I don't know if she can't communicate or refuses to. She should be able to at least convey something. She's too busy sewing for me to try to at the moment, so I'll try again after she's done. Even if she still doesn't respond, I'd like to keep trying. The next day, I left my room, and she decides to dress like Kuroneko. Okay, or something like that. And she's very iffy about her blah eye. Okay, she wants to look more human as possible. Okay, I understand. Alright. And I saw Agaha wearing new clothes. Looks like she finished her modifications. Even though she was working skillfully before, I was surprised how well it turned out. Her inhuman parts are hidden enough, though enough that she can pass as a girl. Yeah, how are you hiding your tentacles? Well, how are you doing that? But it's suspicious, conspicuous. There are a few fashions like that out there. She looks mostly human now. She might be able to go outside like this. I'm impressed. Suddenly Agaha points to the end. She does want to go outside! It seems like she really intends to go outside just like this. I figured she'd want to leave the house at some point, but I wasn't expecting it to be so soon. Did she figure out I have nothing planned today? Eventually, I decided to go out with Agaha for a while. I probably don't have to worry about her running off or scaring anyone. I can be optimistic about this trip with Agaha. I shouldn't get too worked up, but I doubt it will stop soon. We're only going to see the neighborhood, so don't make a scene. Agaha's only response is a knowing smile. Only a few days ago, she kept her intelligence hidden. But she still won't even nod or shake her head in reply. I'll interpret her smile as a yes for now, but I need something more clear. Either way, it should be fine for now. I'm worried. But I open the front door and leave with Agaha. As soon as we left the house, she took my arm and started walking. Since it's her first time outside since we met, and leaning on me makes her four-legged walking look a little more natural, I have no... Yeah, how are you hiding your four legs? Reason to stop her this time. She's wearing a cute dress, and her inhuman parts are hidden from view. My sense of reason and morality fights it. But I'm seeing her as a girl now. My heart is increasing. My heart rate is increasing from this unusual intention. Okay. Luckily, it's early and there are a few people around, and nobody who sees Agaha shows any suspicion. After walking a bit, Agaha and I stop nearby a park and sit on a bench. I'll let Agaha see the view and then head back home. Not much time has passed since we left, but between Agaha's actions and my nervousness taking her outside, my heart is pounding. I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. I'm gonna have a freaking heart. What's she doing? I turn toward Agaha to check how she's doing, and I see her reaching towards me, bringing her face closer. What the hell is she doing? I don't know what Agaha is doing, but I let her continue because I don't know. Her face is very close, and I only realize what she's doing, but a bit too late. I raise my arm to stop her, but we're out in public. Just shoving her away would draw attention. Thinking about what to do, I stopped moving. I was still for just a small moment. But that moment was long enough for her lips to meet mine. Okay. She molested me. Agaha didn't try anything after that. When I suggested going home and stood up, she followed me obediently. I don't know if that's an imitation born of curiosity or if she has a concept of love. but this behavior makes it clear that she sees me as a man. The femininity I saw in Agatha is intentional. I'm still upset about what happened, but it's clouding my mind. I wonder if it was Agatha's plan all along. Maybe I understand more about her as I can come to an answer. I need to get my thoughts together. Let's eat food and pretend nothing happened. Agatha's cooking is improved. In the taste and preparation, it surpasses my own, of course. It sometimes tastes odd, though. Though I was never a good cook myself, but I don't get it. She may be adding some kind of special ingredient. Or she could be trying to make the food unique to her. Maybe she's learning how to cook more than just what she's watched to make. Okay. I thought Agatha had no sense of taste. But was I wrong? Maybe she did, but she never showed it on her face. Whether her cooking skill increased without a sense of taste. I have no idea. I shouldn't think about it too hard. This is a trivial matter compared to her excessive skinmanship. I don't need to worry about it while I'm eating, though. I thank Agatha for the meal and then keep eating. I don't know if she understood, but she softly smiled in response. Hello? It feels like Agatha can communicate without using language, so there should be other ways I can try. I read some materials that might help with that. Pet training, children education, communication with foreign cultures. I even read texts on psychology and mental disorders. I feel myself getting impatient with Agatha, but she doesn't need to know that. Even if I try various kinds of basic yes or no questions, she still gives me no indication that she understands. Maybe it's not that she has nothing to say, but instead that she doesn't feel like telling me anything. Agatha is neither human nor animal, a unique existence. It's possible that her mental structure doesn't even allow for language. But since I'm an amateur on the subject and not willing to use extreme methods, I'll have to settle for that answer. Touchy. As I figure out how to accept Agatha's new behavior, her constant skinmanship troubles me. I pretend to work hard and reduce my contact with her. If I let her cuddle with me and get affectionate, she might try something like she did at the park again. Agatha seems quite dissatisfied with the distance I'm keeping between us. Why avoid her, and a broad frown appears on her face. When I see it, the guilt just stabs my heart and makes me want to return to her side. But I decided it's a safer option to force myself to look away. What should I do now? Should I accept Agatha's new behavior? She's changed so much in such a short time. She hasn't made a move on me since... But if she does, will she stop at just a molesty kiss? I don't know if I can control Agatha's behavior. I haven't tried restraining her, kicking her out, or getting violent to stop her. I don't know how she would react if I tried. I'm afraid that I might not even be able to. No, what I fear isn't the risk of the unknown. It's possible that Agatha will get angry and cause trouble, but I'm not too worried about that. I just don't want Agatha to hate me. Normally, when it's time to sleep, Agatha quietly goes to bed on her own. But tonight, she came into my room. Uh-oh. Thinking about her recent excessive skinmanship, I warily face her. She gives no indication that she notices my worry, and sits next to me on the bed with no hesitation. Before I can say anything, Agatha wraps her tentacles around mine. I'm being murdered, and slowly pulls me towards her. Thinking she was trying to do the same thing as before, I grab Agatha by the shoulder and to stop her. Even if she doesn't understand me, I tell her firmly to stop doing these things. When I say this, Agatha's face quickly shifts expressions. Anger, sadness, surprise. I'm not sure what I see on her face now. I don't know how she really feels. After a few seconds, Agatha narrows her eyes, but I still can't tell what she's thinking. Suddenly, I feel a light pain in my neck where her tentacles are touching me. I touch the part where I felt it, but there's no blood, and the pain quickly recedes. What did she do? Am I dying? Okay. It didn't hurt very much, but it hurt enough that I was sure I didn't imagine it. In my puzzled confusion, I look to see her smiling gently. She pulls me towards her just like before. Put my hand on her shoulder to push her away, but I no longer have the power in my... Oh. She numbed me. She's using her bug powers. Just putting my hand on Agatha's shoulder can't stop her. She kisses me like she did before. Like before, she doesn't stop at a light kiss. She keeps going until I have to take several breaths through my nose. She lightly pushes against me, and my weakened body falls to the bed. I am being molested and raped. Oh God! She lays across my front as she keeps kissing me, and her long tongue slithers in between my lips. Oh jeez. Multiple tentacle-like tongues. What? Coil around my tongue. Oh jeez. Run across my teeth, lick my inner cheek. Oh, I don't know if this is safe, but then again, I set this so children shouldn't be watching. So this is okay, I guess. So I guess I'm going to keep going. And slowly invade my throat. I keep trying to push Agatha away, but my arms have no strength, and I can't resist her in any way. She steals my breath and slowly and steadily. And all I can do is accept this passionate kiss beyond what any human could ever do. Actually, despite my deep paralysis, my body has become extremely Oh my God, she put pheromone shit in me too! Agatha's warmth, her rough tongues, her shallow breaths, the wet sound of her saliva. They echo through my mind, destroying all my will to resist. How much time has passed? It may have been 2, 3, or even 10 minutes. Although I don't know how long my consciousness faded away, eventually Agatha slowly releases my lips. What? Was that it? That was the complete molestation? As I wondered what she would do next, Agatha stared at me for a while. She smiled and kissed me gently and left the room. What was that about? The paralysis slowly wore off. I regained full control of my body and managed to sit up. After confirming that my body is back to normal, I clutched my head in terror. I thought she might be potentially dangerous before, but since Agatha had the physique of a girl, I was confident I could fight her off if I needed to. She's definitely more dangerous than I thought. But honestly, this doesn't change anything. I just have to be more careful in the future. Although I don't know when she'll try something again, I should try not to upset her for now. I tremble with fear, thinking that deep, sweet kiss etched in my mind. The thought that maybe I should accept her suddenly returns. This dangerous, mysterious thought somehow grows stronger. Rather than fearing the odd being known as Agatha, I'm afraid of myself for wanting her even more. I got molested. When Agatha stung me, I lost all movement of my body. Her venom is strong and fast-acting, but luckily temporary. It leaves no scar or noticeable after effects to my health. It also seemed to increase my sensitivity when she kissed me. Although the venom only affected me for a short time, what Agatha did to me remains clear in my mind when I see her. I can't decide on where to go from here. I'm organizing my thoughts and trying to see how I can move forward. But I don't know what I should do now. What is it that I really truly want? I don't friggin' know. Still stuck in my current state of worry, I stay in the bedroom. Agatha comes back and approaches me. Oh, that was quick. And like before, she reaches out to me. Okay. We don't want to get stabbed again. Resistance is futile. I accept her. Everything should be fine. With that excuse in my mind, I allow Agatha to do me again. I was paralyzed and collapsed last time, but this time I lean into her. Pressing against her and hugging Agatha tightly. I warmly embrace her. As we lock lips over and over, Agatha's long tongue slides into my mouth like before. Her rough tongue, her hot breath, the warmth of her body. My thoughts are overrun with stimulation of our tongues as I clutch her in my arms. Suddenly my breath hitches. I pull my arms away, and Agatha slowly lays down. Uh-oh. Unlike last time, when she was on top of me, I see Agatha reaching towards me from below. The distance between us shrinks as I let her pull me in, and we start to heatedly kiss again. Deeply, hotly, intensely, I taste Agatha. The wet sound of our saliva and breath echoes through the room. Agatha's breath gets rougher, and her cheeks start to flush. And then porn appears on the screen. When I break off the kiss to catch my breath again, Agatha starts to unbutton her clothes. Okay. I think I'll leave this as a cliffhanger. Yeah. Before we get into that, I need to know that it's worth doing that. So leave a comment down below. Show interest. Then we'll see where this goes. Thank you for watching this first playthrough of Butterfly Affection. This has been Oreimo, your beloved VA that hasn't given you an abridged in quite a while. Bye!